Welcome back. Summer travel season is ramping up, and vacations for families come in many forms, like parents taking some time for themselves and leaving the kids at home, or grandparents wanting to spend some time with the kids on trips without the parents.
No judgment, however you do it. Joining us now to talk about what to consider when making these plans is estate planning attorney, speaker, and coach, Michelle Adams.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Why should people, because this might be something that people don't necessarily connect to vacations.
Yeah.
Why should people be thinking about this?
Oh my gosh, you're sending your children to someone else. What happens if something happens to that child? Do they have legal authority to be able to give instructions, provide the care? Maybe not. So it's really important that we put things in place before that trip even takes place.
And what does that look like in terms of documents for parents?
Yes. So first I say authorization. And what do I mean? Making sure that there's a healthcare authorization form in place. So if the child becomes injured or ill, now that grandparent has legal authority to be able to meet with the doctors and help facilitate the healthcare. I would also say have a list of the child's medications so that, again, if there's an allergic reaction, the grandparent is not like, uh-oh, who's on first? They know exactly what needs to happen and who to call. And that's the other thing, the child's pediatrician, doctor, so that they have information about who is next in line to be able to make those decisions.
Sounds like what you're talking about is almost one step further than when you leave your child at home with somebody. Here's a list of numbers, here's everything.
Right.
You just need the documents to go with it. I had an experience where my son was away for the summer and he broke an arm. How do I deal with this? You're far away. First of all, it can be scary for parents.
Yes, so scary for the parents who are far away and they're feeling helpless. Scary for the grandparents or whoever has care of that child,
Right.
because they're not sure what medical treatment is necessary and they don't know if they legally have the ability to do that. So I would say authorization first. Make sure that you give that grandparent or whoever's taking care of the child the ability to make medical decisions for the child. Just to add to that, supposing you were ill and injured, and now that child needs a guardian to make sure that their needs are being taken care of. So you should have a short-term guardianship that says, if I as the parent become ill or injured, I need to tap someone else in place to make sure they have legal authority to take care of those children.
And you kind of already spoke to a little bit of it, but is there anything additional that parents or grandparents or caregivers should ask parents for before they leave?
So again, allergy information or any other type of medical care that that child may need. I would also say to have a list of, as you mentioned, the emergency contacts. I remember growing up when my parents went to wherever, we had the cabinet door and inside.
Piece of paper on the inside of it. I have one of those too.
Everyone's phone number was listed, so we knew exactly where to go. So they should definitely have that at their disposal. So authorization, information, and communication in terms of if I am away, this is the person that you need to reach out to. And also, here's where I, as the parent, keep all of that important information. One other thing my parents would do is there was a briefcase by the side of the bed. So whenever they went away, took a trip somewhere, every important document was in that briefcase. Yes. Thankfully, my sister and I never had to tap into it, but intuitively we knew that if something happened to the parents, there was a plan in place.
It's amazing that you're as organized as you are. I wonder where that came from. I have a question for you because when you have kids, you start thinking about a will.
Yes.
Are any of these things covered in a will, and do you need something outside of a will?
Great question. So wills come into play at our death. So yes, ideally, if you have minor children, this information should be in the will.
Okay.
But supposing you're incapacitated, that will does not take effect. So that's where we have a short-term guardianship nomination that says, if I'm not able to care for the child, I don't want the child having to go through foster care, or them trying to figure out who should be in charge. I have already indicated that by the documents that I've created.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. You know, these are all things that people, maybe you're sitting at home going, I can't believe you think about that when you go on vacation.
Yeah.
Until you need to think about it.
That part.
So thank you very much for coming in and giving us that.
You're welcome.